With only 4 weeks remaining in the NFL regular season, the good teams are beginning to pull away from the bad. I'm here with Nick Markunas, who's prepared his picks for who will make the playoffs this year in each conference. Now, let's start with the AFC and in the South. Who do you have winning the South?
I got Houston pulling away with the South. They have a big, I think they're going to be the number one seed in the
big lead.
AFC. Oh, absolutely. They have a huge matchup coming up with the Patriots to determine, in my opinion, who will be the number one seed in the South. And I think Houston wins that matchup. Then they have Indy coming up twice. I feel like they might split with them and then win at Minnesota to end up 14-2, the top seed in the AFC. Then New England's already wrapped up the East. I have them
that's essentially a lock.
So then Baltimore, I have Baltimore taking the North.
They've been a little shaky lately. I think they're going to win.
I think they have enough to win. I don't think Pittsburgh, with their quarterback situation, even if Big Ben comes back, it might be a little rusty. So I think they'll be able to hold off them and win there. And then I have Denver. Obviously, the Denver Peyton Mannings have already locked up the division. So they have that. And then wild card gets a little dicey.
Wild card's interesting this year.
Absolutely. I have Indianapolis holding on to that the first wild card spot, and then Cincinnati is my surprise pick. They let's see what they have. They have Dallas, Philly, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh coming up, and I think Dallas
not an easy schedule.
Not an easy, but I could see them definitely beating Dallas and Philly. Maybe and upsetting Pittsburgh to lock up that last wild card spot.
You know, I have more faith in Cincy than I do Pittsburgh at this point in the year. I actually agree with all 6 of your picks, believe it or not. But
that's good.
Let's move on to the NFC here.
Let's flip to the NFC.
Flip it over to the NFC. Who do you got in the South and the NFC?
Atlanta, they've
another lock essentially.
Absolutely, they've had some squeaky wins, but they've had wins. I think they're rolling. Let's see if they can actually get out of the first round. Well, they'll have a bye, but see if they can win a playoff game. San Francisco, I think they'll win the West. I think they'll be able to hold off Seattle. One, Seattle's definitely made it interesting. I have Seattle on the wild card, but Green Bay, I think Green Bay will. Chicago's kind of fallen off in recent weeks. I think Green Bay will definitely win the North there. And then it gets interesting in the East with last night's game.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants will be able to pull it out their next couple of games, New Orleans, Atlanta, Baltimore, Philly. I could see them winning in New Orleans and Atlanta, losing to Baltimore, and then Philly. So I could have them 10-6 locking it up, and then that leaves our wild cards with Chicago and Seattle.
You know, I almost agree with everything you said. I've got Washington, actually, momentum, getting them into that East. I think the Giants do have a good shot of picking surprise around the Washington Redskins in that one. That settles the playoff picture, but we're not done with the NFL just yet. The Rookie of the Year race is heating up, and we have two very opinionated experts waiting with Kurt to stake their claim. Kurt?
Well, Joe, going from, in the spirit of looking at playoff contending teams, we're going to look at two rookie quarterbacks who could get their teams into the playoffs. I'm joined by Alex Sharon and Ryan Ballack, and we're going to play a little Whose Side Are You On? So, boys, the question comes down to RG3 or Andrew Luck. Who should be the offensive rookie of the year? Guys, have at it.
Well, look, not only have RG3 and Andrew Luck, this whole rookie class has been spectacular
they've been fantastic
all season. I mean, Trent Richardson, Brandon Whedon, Doug Martin, even he's been okay. He hasn't been terrible. Ryan Tan, I mean, they've all been good. It's just been spectacular. But I'm looking at RG3, who's been an absolute superstar in the NFL. He's been a phenomenon. He has people on other teams cheering for him. And just look at the stats. Comparing RG3 to Andrew Luck, they both have accounted for 23 touchdowns combining passing and rushing. But RG3's has a 67% completion rate compared to Andrew Luck's 55%. Andrew Luck leads the league in turnovers, leads the NFL in turnovers share, 27.
Do you know how many times Andrew Luck has passed the ball?
A lot
500.
More. You know how many more interceptions he's thrown more than RG3?
He has passed for almost 200 times more than Robert Griffin III. That, of course, he's going to throw more interceptions the more times he passes the ball. The Colts are giving Andrew Luck the ball, making him score, making him be their offense. Who's his running back? Vic Ballard, Donald Brown? No, you look at the Redskins. They have
the Redskins have an offense, but Alfred Morris. RG3 has made Alfred Morris into the person he is. He was a 6th-round draft pick, and RG3 has Santana Moss, who has had the most touchdowns he's had since 2005, his first year with the Redskins.
The Skins are 21st in the league in passing. I get that Robert Griffin opens things up and lets them run and everything.
He changes everything.
But he's not doing everything. It's a very good system. He has been a very good player. But you look at what Andrew Luck has done.
Against who?
Taking a 2-14 team, the worst team in the league. You forget, Redskins weren't the worst team in the league. They weren't that bad last year.
They're pretty bad.
Guys, I hear what both of you are saying, and I love this game because they give me the power to pick the winner. I mean, I'm sorry. I got to go with my buddy Alex Sharon here because you know what? Don't throw on my desk, okay? Don't do that. So if you just look at what Andrew Luck is doing, it's more impressive because he doesn't have that element of the run. I got to give it to him.
He does have the
8-4.
27 turnovers
Thank
to
you.
8 turnovers.
And he took over a worse team. Hey, maybe next time.
Whatever. Get out of here, Kurt.
That attitude's got to go. Not in my house.
You're never going to pick me.
We have to take a break, but when one-on-one returns, I will be joined by the big man himself, who at least respects me more than this guy, to dissect some power teams in the NBA. This should be fun.